Where you draw your retirement income from is probably the biggest variable facing nearly every retiree. It's a huge switch. You go from having a paycheck that shows up every couple of weeks to having to fund your own retirement, create your own paycheck from a pot of money that you've saved up. It's literally something that doesn't exist for the first 60 or 70 years of your life. And now, boom, it's a completely different game. A popular fix for this is the 4% rule, which is supposed to show you how much money you can draw from your portfolio without running out. Today, I want to explain to you why it's stupid. So the 4% rule says that you can draw 4% of your starting retirement portfolio balance in year one of retirement and adjust it up each year for inflation, and you shouldn't run out of money over a 30-year retirement period. Spoiler alert, the math works, but it's still a stupid plan. Here's the three things that you need to know. First off, nobody has a static spending pattern in retirement. It's just not that simple. There's a study about something called the retirement spending smile. It says that essentially you spend more money early in retirement and then your spending drops and it picks up again near the end of your retirement. Now, you probably don't need a study to tell you that. In the beginning of retirement, you're doing the fun stuff. It's bucket list time. You're doing all the things you've been waiting to do, traveling, having fun. All of that costs money. We call these the go-go years of retirement. And then things start to slow down a little bit. It's not so appealing to sit on an airplane for a day to go to Italy. So you're still having fun, but it tends to be more low-key. You go to the grandkids' games, you spend time with friends, you spend time with family. These are the slow-go years. And guess what? It costs less money to hang out with your friends than it does to fly to Italy. Lastly, we get to the no-go years. Spending picks up again, but it's not for the fun stuff. It's for healthcare costs. Life gets more expensive in this stage. And so the problem with an income plan that is static is that it doesn't match up with the way people actually live. Life in retirement isn't one static thing. It's a bunch of phases that all require different things. The 4% rule is a math equation. It's not an income plan. It's mismatched. It's putting a square peg into a round hole. My second issue with using the 4% rule in retirement is this: the variance of returns in this sort of plan are astonishing. What I mean is this: when you look at the end points, historically, there's a massive range of outcomes. I'll pop up FI Calc here. I've showed you the site before on the channel. It's a super simple tool, but it's kind of fun. So check this out. You retire with $1,000,000. You draw 4% or $40,000 a year, and you adjust it up each year for inflation. They measured 124 historic 30-year periods. The good news is, in a moderate portfolio, 96.8% of the time you were successful, which means you funded all the income without running out of the money. The math works. It couldn't be the 4% rule if you ran out of money half of the time. Here's the issue. You probably actually spent too little, unless you retired into one of those worst case scenario periods, and actually 37.9% of the time, you died with more money than you started with after drawing 4% per year for 30 years. You left a lot of money on the table. You underlived your retirement because you used a math equation to plan for your income. Now, leaving money to beneficiaries is great, but if financial legacy is important, there are better ways to do it than to deprive yourself for 30 years in retirement. Now let's look at some of these results. The 4 periods out of the 124 where you ran out all coincided with retiring between 1965 and 1969. Retire in any other time in the last 124 years and you don't end up at zero. Again, the 4% rule is great for napkin math to ballpark out what you can take from your portfolio, but it should not be your plan. The third reason is this: even though you know the math works 96% of the time, if you're a 4% rule person and the market drops 30 or 40%, you're going to get real uncomfortable. And that's understandable. It's human nature. But when that happens, and it will because that's the way markets work, the initial thought is to cut back, to spend less, to conserve, because you're pulling money from a declining asset. I understand that. I don't even particularly disagree with the premise. My point is this: don't put yourself in that situation to begin with. That's like chastising someone for running out of a burning building. Of course you want to get out of the building. The better course of action would be to make sure that you never ended up there in the first place. Now, I've seen this happen. This is not theoretical. I'm not just giving you theories here. I've literally had conversations with people during down times in the market when income needs have to come from the portfolio and your portfolio is dropping like a hot rock. It's understandable why you would want to cut back. My concern with it is this: you get one retirement. and losing 2 or 3 or 5 years of it, not doing what you want because of financial fear, because you let the markets dictate your retirement, is not a retirement well lived. Guarantee your base retirement income from money that is not subject to market fluctuation, money that shows up in the mailbox or the checking account every month, no matter what. Social Security, pensions, guaranteed annuities that pay a lifetime income, and then structure the remaining assets into a 3-bucket plan. That plan allows you to build a firewall between your most valuable assets, the stock market stuff that fluctuates, and the money that you need to live. It also allows you the flexibility to draw more early in retirement so you can handle the spending smile and use the money to supplement your retirement income for the fun stuff. It's also mechanically similar to what you've lived with for the last 40 plus years. You get a paycheck, shows up like clockwork, and you got a pool of money for all of the other stuff. It's not all mashed up in one pot. The 4% rule is a nice guideline, but it's not a retirement income plan. Use it to see if you're on track, but make sure you get an actual plan in place for yourself. 2 more things. Check out the links down below. I left some good stuff for you down there. And check out this video on structuring a 3-bucket plan for yourself.